Chicken Daddy Kyle, and we are here today to break down a chicken. So, the way I normally start this is I start with the wings. So what I do is I take the knife, I put it underneath, basically into the armpit of the chicken, and I just gently slice in a kind of a rotating manner. I come around to the back side. And remember, it's always important to rotate the chicken, not so much the knife. You don't want to accidentally stab yourself. Once you get it loosened up enough, you can break the joint out, and that kind of loosens it. And then put the knife in here, and then cut off those ligaments. That's one wing. Now to the other one. Same thing. Start into the armpit. Break the joint. There we go. That's two wings. Next, I move to the legs. So it just depends on what you want to do, whether you want to keep the skin on the breast or not. But the idea is to try to leave as much skin as possible. So you want to stay closer to the leg when you make this cut here. So if you want to keep the breast on, if you want to remove it, then it doesn't really matter. But I usually like to keep the skin on the legs and take it off the breast. So if you see there, I severed between the breast and the leg here, and now I cut around. What I'm looking for here, there's this the pearl of meat right here. Everybody loves this part of the thigh, so we want to be careful to preserve that. So we come in, and then we cut in right there, keeping that pearl. Again, break the joint open. Now we take the knife and we finish that around right there, and then underneath, now I'll turn it this way so you can see. You want to basically cut along this line right here, just above it, up to the joint. And that comes across the back side here, and then cut. And then you have a thigh and leg combo. And you do the same thing with the other side. Again, I'm trying to preserve the skin on the breast this time. Around the back side here, we got that pearl right in there. And now we break the joint, pop that joint out just like that. And then now right along the inside here. And then we got two legs. Next is the breast. This took me the longest to master. It's not the easiest part. So what I do, this is my technique. A lot of people have different ones, but my technique is I go in through here where your wing used to be, and I find there's a bit of a pocket here. You can kind of press your thumb inside of it, open it up just a little bit. You can see my finger kind of poking through here. Once you get like a nice little pocket there, you hold that, and then use your knife to cut through the skin. Just to open that up. And then the way I do it here is I keep my thumb going underneath, and I just use my thumb to kind of pull outward little by little as I get down to the tip. Now once I got that far, I go back into the armpit area and release the rest of the ligaments all the way down, just like that. And you see the whole breast will just come loose. So then from here, you want to get it off the collarbone. So I just use my thumb again, press through, and then pull upward. That releases it from the collarbone up to about where the wishbone ends, right about in the middle of that wishbone. That's where it ends. Now I flip to the other side. Same thing. Same with them underneath. Open that up a little bit, and then use my knife And now I find that pocket underneath the breast, and I slide it outwards and just release it all the way up to the tip. Oops. Keep that skin on as much as possible. And now back up here. I want to get off the collarbone. Once we're right down to the center of the collarbone, now what we do here is you can lay it on the table like this. You take your hand in like an L shape here, and then you peel it up. When I try to keep the cartilage on the breastbone as much as possible, sometimes it's a little hard to do. So I just basically pull it away from the bone. Oh, I got the cartilage that time. That's okay, easy fix. All you do is you take a knife and just remove that piece of cartilage. There you go. And now we're left with a beautiful little double breast. This is a smaller chicken, but that's a nice little breast there. Lastly is the tender, and there's two parts to this. I'll show you how to remove the tender. This is this part right here, and that part there, and then I'll show you how to take the tendon out of it. So what I do is I pop these out from the inside here, just inside the collarbone, finger inside. You just pop that joint out right there. See that right there, that little white part, that right there, that's your tendon. I'll show you how to remove that in just a moment. Now you want to release this. If you try to pull it out, it might shred it as it comes out, so you want to release it. I usually like to stick close to the breastbone here and just use my thumb and kind of press in just to kind of release that film there. Then on the other side, just peel it out. It's very easy once you get this far. You just pull it straight out, and there's a nice tender. Do the same thing with the other side. Again, pressing my thumb through the collarbone underneath the wishbone here. Get that tendon loosed, and then just right along the breast here, loosening up that film, and then peeling it out. There we got our second tender. Next, I use a pair of pliers. Might be a little unusual, but the way I do it here is I grab this little piece by the pliers, and these pliers have been sterilized, so they're clean. Grab it by the pliers here, I squeeze hard, and I just pull that out, pull that tendon right out. If you don't pull that out, it'll make the tender very chewy. So then we've got a nice, beautiful, soft, delicious tender. Same thing with the other one. Grab it by the tendon just like that, squeeze and pull. Pull that out. Now that's trash. And then we've got two lovely tenders. And now if you want to, this is your carcass here. There's not a whole lot left on it, but what you can do, what I like to do is we like to turn it into, we save a couple of these, and we actually do chicken broth. So what I do is I cut it here. I usually use 3 of them when we do a chicken broth, 3 bodies here. And now we just break and twist. And then we have 2 separate pieces. This helps break it down so it's easier to fit in the bag. One last thing I'll mention is that chicken cooked in chicken oil is one of the best things about owning your own chickens. It's hard to find, hard to get at a store, so we like to render our own chicken skin down into oil, so we save any bit of chicken skin that we have left over. And that's how we break down a chicken.